first guest is an internationally known vocalist who's played on stages from the United Arab Emirates to the United States. She's appeared on several TV programs around the world. Clarissa, the sassy UK soul singer.
Hello.
Hi, good to see you.
You too.
Yeah, how you doing today?
I'm okay. I just did a little run around the lake, so I'm a little warm right now. I just necked that bottle of water I had before I came over
Okay,
here.
well, we've got plenty of water if you need. So the first question I want to ask you is, sassy is a very strong and specific adjective.
Oh.
How did you get it? And how did you add it to your name?
I don't know. I think what it is I like to wear a lot of pop colors. I like to pop little jokes. You know, in England we have stuff called banter, so we're always it's always just like at the tip of your tongue you've got something crazy to say or silly. Nothing offensive, but just something to make people chuckle or whatever, you know. Yeah. So that's why I like to say sassy. Actually, a friend of mine actually tried to give me like a little brand name, and that was in Virginia. So it's like, you're a Sassy British Soul Singer. I'm like, okay, let's try it.
Sure.
It's just not far off.
It sticks, and it suits you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
So, first off, what town in England are you from?
Okay, so I grew up in a place called Staffordshire.
Okay, where is that?
It's just below Manchester.
Okay. So this is mid-country, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, and from there you went to...
I went to Bahrain.
To Bahrain?
Yeah, I was there for like 3 years, 4 years.
Okay, and this was performing?
This is performing, yeah.
Okay, well, tell me about, first, was there music in your home growing up? I don't want to get too far away from England before we get to the Middle East.
So growing up, I was often doing music alone. Okay. My brother used to DJ. Oh, wow. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. So there's been a lot. He had things that he had going on in the household growing up, and then I always loved listening to music. I loved to play. I did little piano lessons when I was younger. And that kind of ended, but then I still continue to sing and stuff, and then I've gone back and forth with keys and stuff like that. So you'll see some keys at shows and some keys not at shows. Okay. Music-wise, my brain's not working today. I started out doing more classical stuff. I sung in church as well. I did a Christian fellowship, so I was like the leader of worship there, that kind of thing. Not leader of worship, but leading the band in praise, So that was a way of building confidence and uniting with people, and it was a really pleasant experience, and that helped me to go perform live more frequently.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you though. Usually, Americans, we think of bands from the UK as just four white guys playing guitars. And so, how did you end up in soul?
I think soul found me. Oh, wow. I definitely love a lot of amazing artists, soul artists, especially African American artists,
For example,
Aretha Franklin. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Like Erykah Badu. I love Erykah Badu. Like the way that they've completely set the bar. Like people I listen to all the time. Like I can listen to them on loop, And then I came across a lot of stuff like obviously Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill. I'm a big Lauryn Hill fan. This is like a mixture of R&B as well, with a tiny bit of hip hop. So there's a lot of different things that I like to do in my live shows that are influenced by these amazing artists.
You mentioned you were in the UK performing, and it's kind of you got your chops there, and then how did you end up in Bahrain?
Okay, so I can tell this story now. It's been a long time. So when I was 18, I had an agent, and he took me to this audition. Okay. He was trying to rename me all these different things. He wanted to call me Claire Holloway, and get me to do different kind of music. I'm like, this isn't working out. But this one thing did. Okay. He tried to introduce me to this group. They were like, yeah, we love her, but how old is she? He's like, she's 18. He's like, you have to be 21 plus to go on the international contracts. I'm like, oh man. I had to wait.
So close.
I had to wait. And I was having a meltdown, approaching the time when it was going to happen. And then the first contract fell through. I'd sold my car. I'd left my apartment.
Well, hold on. So What did you do in the interim from the time you were 18 to 21 then?
I was performing live a lot of different places around the UK. So I would go from Midlands, I would go over to the coast, and I would go down. So England's pretty easy to travel.
Sure.
I think the furthest gig I did was maybe holiday parks. Holiday parks, like resorts and stuff.
Well, they say, in distance in Europe is measured by distance. In the States, it's measured by time. Right? Oh, it takes me 2 hours to get there. Right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. So you're 21. You had your first contract. Then now you're under contract in Bahrain.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing there?
Oh wow! It was the most intense thing you can imagine.
Okay.
So they give all vocalists a heads up. You lose your voice.
Okay.
And you don't know how bad it gets until you lose your voice. You can't speak. It's like this every morning.
What's the reason behind it? Why?
You're overworked.
Okay, it's not the climate or.
And it'll be a mixture of things as well. So you got to think they smoke in bars out there.
Okay.
And venues. You got the humidity, and then you've got doing 40? No, not 40, but 8 songs sets. Yeah, possibly 30 songs a night.
Wow, that's a lot.
And that's amongst multiple singers. But I do that now in my other shows. But multiple singers and doing all the other things are doing other parts. So if you've got the high harmonies for all the night while someone else is taking lead and that back and forth, you're doing a lot of work.
So you're always working. And you're never off stage.
I mean, you get off for breaks. Okay. You'll do 4 45s it was, but that's 5 nights a week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So jam nights were yes, it's jam night. We can do nothing.
So that's your 10,000 hours then that you put in.
Oh yeah, it's 10,000 hours.
Your skill level is going through the roof then.
I would like to think that I've had a lot of experience, which has definitely helped me be a more. It's helped my ear. Okay. My ear got really good after playing with such great people for such a long time. And I'm talking killer players. One of my friends just was playing with Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, God, how did you get that contract, Pat? And then it turns out it was one of my friends in New York who got in the connect. So we all have a little network that we utilize amongst our group. We haven't had a chance to unite yet for a little while, but I'm sure it's going to happen at some point.
That's on the horizon.
That's on the horizon.
Excellent. Okay. I want to ask you about something, though. What is the Wanash music channel? Am I pronouncing that right?
Oh.
And how did you get involved with it?
That's Wanas. I think that's Wanasaw TV. I think I might be saying it wrong. I'm not sure. But, so...
I'm going to go with my American accent. Wanash.
That's fine with me.
All right. So how did you get involved with this?
So... Bahrain's a very small country.
Okay.
People typically pick up on artists very quickly if they're progressing and doing lots of different things in the area. So I got scooped up. They said, "Hey, we love your vibe. We love your soulful vocal. How you do jazzy stuff. We want to do a jazz jam, but with Arabic drums and stuff." And that just sounds really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a funny story about this.
Do tell.
So we went away and learned the music, and we had the day where it was going to be shot, and then I got an Uber. I didn't have a car at the time, and over there I think I got a car later on or something, because everything was typically more you can just walk there. I don't walk to my venues with a little backpack. But then so this particular place was towards maybe 20 miles down. So I got an Uber down there at 9 a.m. because it said 9 to something and the shooting. I realized I come in the morning and not night. I'm like, we're not talking about other musicians here. So I went all the way back home, peed off. I was like, oh man, I got up early for this. And I was tired.
Right.
And anyway, I go back there later on. I'm like, let's try again. I call them on the phone, let's go in. And we got all the makeup ladies, we got all the filming crew, all the other musicians, hey, what's up? We all got together and we started doing it. But everyone had to do their different sections for the in the studio, because we pulled the parts together at the end and stuff like that. They did the production side of stuff. And they were very delayed.
Delayed? What do you mean?
So I was supposed to shoot my part around, maybe let's say something like 11 p.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We ended up shooting my part at 4 a.m.
Wow.
So I was drinking Turkish coffee, everything to keep me awake. So by the time we were shooting, I was so tired, so caffeined out my mind.
Right. So what was causing all the delays?
I don't know. You know, somebody shows up late or whatever, and then everyone's just like, "Oh, we gotta wait for this guy," and then someone wants to eat, and it's just like, you know, you're a bunch of different people who, you know, we're all supposed to be taking it easy, and I'm just the person who likes to get in, get out sometimes, especially when I got another show coming up. I'm like, I'm tired, like I want to sleep. When am I gonna sleep?
So what did you perform on this video?
We did. Gosh, it's like pop quiz now. We did Sting. I think it was a Sting song. English.
Englishman in New York.
Yeah, Englishman in New York, but I changed the lyrics and said English girl in Bahrain.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was quite fitting.
Yeah, it seems to happen. There was a guy I knew once who did a Frenchman in Shanghai too.
Oh yeah, that's good. I didn't read that one. I'm going to look it up.
Oh, okay. So now you're in Bahrain, and anywhere else in the Middle East that you performed?
Gosh, I'm trying to think now. I did something like a fly out over in Dubai once. I can't remember exactly when that was. That was like for a private event though. So it was like, yeah, that's like a 20-minute flight from Bahrain. So.
Okay, so now, how did you end up in the United States?
Okay, so it's a love story.
Okay, well, we got time.
Basically, I was dating a Navy sailor. Okay. Him and I were dating for about a year up there, and then he's like, "Well, I got to go back to America now.
Okay,
do you want to go?" I'm like, "Okay, let's see what happens."
Okay,
so we kind of made all that happen. And then
it was initially here to Chicago, to the Midwest?
No, Virginia.
Oh, to Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia.
Okay.
In Virginia for 2 years. So that kind of like got me over to the States.
Okay.
I didn't like take off like super fast in Virginia because COVID hit pretty soon afterwards.
All right.
So I was busy, built a good relationship with some local agents and stuff like that who kind of dominated the live scene out there.
Sure.
And then COVID hit.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's how I can describe COVID now.
Boo. The joke is name a city that's forever changed your life, and everybody says, "Oh, Wuhan."
Oh my gosh.
That's the big joke, right? For everybody in the world. Yes, I think we're all been affected by that. So,
yeah. All
right. So you're living and performing in Virginia, and then what's the next step? Where did you end up next?
So once COVID was over, we ended up moving to this area because I have 2 stepchildren in Minocqua. I'm like, I don't want to live with the deer. And so we decided to live between 2 cities, which is between Chicago and Milwaukee. So could kind of do a little bit of both.
Best of both worlds.
I'm 45 from either major city, like downtown. I can get down there. Yes.
Measuring in mileage.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I do time now as well.
Yeah. All right. So you gig primarily in Milwaukee or Chicago?
Actually, Chicago has been booking me a lot this year. It's been really intense. I'm sick of driving here, but I love you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I it just feels so vibrant when I'm down here. You know, I meet wonderful people. I got some people who will take me out after my show. I went to they trying to take me karaoke. I'm like, I was just singing for 3 hours, right? Yeah. I'm like, let's go anyway. Let's just go party. Let's have a good time.
Okay, so you mentioned stepchildren. So it's no secret that musicians lead very unbalanced lives.
Yes.
So how do you maintain a healthy life-work balance? Because kids are on their own alarm clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how do you do it?
So my stepchildren are older. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I am.
So there's 4 kids around.
Yeah. Well, not around all the time. They're up north.
Okay.
And then they'll come down occasionally with them. We'll do little family gatherings and stuff like that, which is always nice.
All right. So it's a 2-year-old and 4-year-old. Okay. Oh, yeah. How do you do it?
Sometimes you've just got to do it.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to get up and go. So I have a very strict routine with like getting out of the house in the morning. Like as soon as I wake up, the kids get they have a little bit of breakfast. I normally fast workouts every day, and then I work out normally do my conditioning in the morning. They go play and whatever, and then nighttime I sometimes do weights as well. So I love exercise. It helps me to relax. It helps my body to heal. It helps my breathing, my respiratory system. It's a very big part of what I do.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Like before I went into the music industry as a full-time thing. I worked in the gym for a while.
Okay.
So I always used to like do lots of different gym-related stuff. All my friends were in the gym scene. You know, health and fitness is definitely a big part of my life.
Well, do you find that the exercise helps with your singing ability?
Yes.
How so?
Oh my gosh, I can hold notes now. Like, it's like people just think it's insane. I'm just like, you know.
Nice.
You know, it's a lot of breath control.
Right. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you, do you have any vocal exercise tips or warm-up tips? I'm asking for a friend who sings.
Oh, yeah? So one of my friends actually recently I can't remember exactly what it was. She had stage in her throat, so her throat
it's
sounded
like vocal
this,
nodes or something.
Yes.
Okay.
So she had I sound really rough today because I was singing.
Yeah, me too.
Way too much last night.
I did 3 hours last night too myself.
So I feel a little bit rough around edges, and you know, I did have a couple of shots with her. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, I'm having a good time.
Right.
But so
in the moment.
Yes. So today, obviously, I didn't sleep a lot because I have small children. So I'm glad we're not performing too much today. So maybe 1 or 2 songs or something.
So how do you prepare for a gig?
I typically, you know, that I have to be really honest. The longest part for me getting to a gig is probably picking my outfit. Okay. And that's just because I feel like you've got to look the part sometimes, especially when you're doing like corporate event stuff. I like to have little nichey things or whatever.
Yeah, dress for success, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I like to show up looking a little bit flashy. You know, sometimes I'll actually put like I'll cover myself like all in like black, and I'll be loading crew for a hot minute. You know, I'm okay with that. I'll go in disguise for a second.
Good. That's good to hear a vocalist not being afraid to carry equipment.
No, I actually, you know what? I'm very. I love when I work with people. I love to nurture them, so I'm running around the back making sure everyone can get in. And then at one time, we couldn't find the entrance to it Untitled. So sorry, we couldn't find the entrance, so I had to cross the street, go in between these 2 lanes down where this garage is. I'm like waving at the side of the street, like coming down here, like so we could find his way down to the venue. And so I came from the back door to get that way. This is how I figured out how to get down there, because I've been doing multiple gigs and I'm like, I can never find parking now. I never knew how to do it, but I did it backwards. That's how I figured it out.
Perfect. Yeah, everybody's got an angle. You got a system.
Oh yeah, mine's backwards.
Perfect. So, last question for this segment: Blur or Oasis?
I gotta say Blur, and I gotta tell you why.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the music video with the little milk carton?
Oh yeah.
That's why I love Blur. Sorry.
Okay, that's the only reason.
I mean, I like all the Blur songs, but that one sticks in my head. That milk cartons, that music video, like shaped my life. Because every time I think of that little milk carton, it makes me really emotional.
Okay, great, fantastic. Well, Clarissa, it was a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
A pleasure to talk to you. And we're going to bring out our next guest. Our next guest is a singer, songwriter, and guitarist that has released over a dozen albums and DVDs of his performances in a singles series called Under the Covers. He tours the world, but he calls Chicago home. Let's talk to Chicago Blues Hall of Fame member Michael Charles. So, first question I have for you, sir. Melbourne or Melbourne?
I say Melbourne.
Melbourne, okay.
That's what I say.
Okay, so as a native, then I can say Melbourne.
I guess I've been told I'm saying it wrong.
Okay, by who?
By everybody. Anyway, Melbourne.
Melbourne, okay. Well, so in Melbourne, why don't you tell me a little bit about your dad? He was an amateur musician, or?
My dad was a guitar player.
Okay.
But he never went into it as a profession.
Okay.
He chose to raise the family and all that. So, but there was always that guitar sitting in the corner. So I don't remember not playing. It's
always there.
Always there. So to me, it was just a natural progression to play. I'd watch him play. I would just pick it up and try and mimic him, basically. And then as I was getting a little older, when I say older, probably about 5 or 6 years old, he started teaching me my first basic chords and things like that. So he was into country music.
All right.
So all my first licks and things, it was all country.
Okay, so
real country.
Like, for example, what kind of artists?
He loved guys like Roy Orbison.
Okay.
He was a huge fan of Glenn Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went to the extreme that he would listen to a lot of Jose Feliciano.
Okay.
Amazing guitar player.
Right.
So I grew up listening to that constantly. And as we all know, Glenn Campbell had his own television show.
Sure.
So I'd sit there watching those shows with him. And I can remember it clear as day. I'm sitting on the couch one evening, and I looked at him and said, "Do you think I'll ever be able to play like that?"
Yeah.
And he kind of, Glenn was just an amazing player. I still learn from that guy. And the thing is that he looked at me when I asked him that question, do you think I'll ever be able to play like that?
Yeah.
And he just kind of looked at me with this little cheeky grin and kind of stared at me a while, and he just gave me one word and said, "Practice."
Yeah.
I've been practicing ever since, Mark.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped, still trying to get it right.
Yeah, same here. I practice every day. One day I'll be good. Okay, well, you said Glenn Campbell, and was there any other guitar players that influenced you?
That was my earliest influence, I would say. But then as I started, getting into my teens and stuff, then I got heavily into like Eric Clapton.
Okay.
With Derek and the Dominoes.
Sure.
And I got very influenced by guys like Carlos Santana, Jeff Beck.
Okay, that's all kind of the late 60s, early 70s era players.
Yeah, and then the somewhere along the line I heard this guy, the way he was singing and playing was John Fogerty.
Okay.
With Creedence. I mean, who didn't like Creedence?
Yeah. That's
catchy tunes he wrote.
It's amazing. They did all that in like 2 years. Something. It was crazy.
I mean, he's still there out there as John Fogerty, but yeah, those 2 years with Creedence was just insane. No Creedence, gone Creedence.
Right, yeah.
It was just so, but that music still lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to ask you, your first band experience was a band called Black Venom. What kind of band was it?
You did, do you?
Yeah, I did a little bit of homework. So what kind of band was that? Was it like a hard rock band? It has that kind of name to it, Black Venom.
It was basically a band that I put together. I was still going to school.
Okay.
So I would have been probably 15, 16 years old, I guess.
All right.
And I got a bunch of my friends. I needed a bass player, I needed a drummer, I needed a keyboardist, so I just picked a bunch of my really good friends that we went to school with and taught them individually these different instruments.
Oh, nice.
And I still remember my very first television show. I think I was 15, 16.
Yeah.
And I got all my buddies and I taught them that one song I wanted to do, which was House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
And that's all they knew, that one song. And I took them on television with me with that one song
that's excellent.
That I taught them. And that's how it all started with me. But Black Venom then evolved into, getting better players and everything. And then until finally I started working with better bands myself. So I kind of went in and out of bands for years and years.
Okay.
Until I decided to do the Michael Charles thing.
Yeah. Well, in Melbourne.
That's good.
Yeah. There's a lot of... I was looking through the list of, like, artists that came from Melbourne. It's like Nick Cave and the Little River Band, Men at Work, and one of my favorites, Crowded House. So how, with all that going on, how did you get towards the blues? How did you get on that path?
I didn't go towards the blues at all.
Okay.
But the people put me there.
Okay.
The industry put me there. Just, I guess, my influences, being heavily influenced by guys like Eric Clapton, the Rolling Stones, even the Beatles, Elvis Presley. Okay. All these people that I, in that time, that's who would be on the radio. So we didn't have all the social medias and all what we got today. So whenever you put your little transistor radio on, I would have it, in my ear.
Sure.
Whatever they fed you there, that's what you would listen to. So it was all the hit records.
Right.
And all these people that would come on the radio were heavily influenced by blues guys. Back then. So, of course, I was playing the blues and didn't even know I was playing the blues. So
one day somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, you're a blues player.
Man, you're a good blues guitarist." And I would go, "What the hell is blues?" basically. And so I didn't realise how much blues influence I had actually till I moved to Chicago.
Okay.
Having the opportunity when I got to Chicago, got to play with guys like Buddy Guy, Eddie Clearwater, Junior Wells, Sugar Blue, you name all these guys. I just had the opportunity to get on the stages and just play with these guys.
Yeah.
These are just guys that I knew on album covers.
Sure.
And here I am shaking hands with them and talking to them, face to face. So they were telling me, man, you know how to play the blues.
Okay.
And I go, "Oh, thank you." And it was just one of those, some things in life, a lot of things in life, I think we just pick it up with the environment we're in, and we don't realise what we're picking up.
So then Chicago was the logical choice for you to come to then?
I didn't make that choice either.
Okay, so that choice was made for you?
It was made for me too, because I'm sitting home and my management at the time, and I was still living in Melbourne, gives me a call and says, "We've been invited to play in Chicago at Buddy Guy's Legends by Buddy Guy and his management."
Oh, wow, nice.
So when you get an invitation like that, that's an invitation you can't refuse.
Right, absolutely.
So that was made for me too. So I thought, with that kind of invitation, let's go. And when I got to Chicago, and I still remember it from O'Hare Airport, being driven to Legends, just seeing the skyline, and then I got to Legends and just meeting everybody. There was something inside me that said, "Great place."
Just the vibe felt good for you.
I feel at home.
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded in all these fantastic musicians. Just overwhelm me. People that made me look like this big. So it was made for me. I never left. That was 33 years ago.
Okay. Well, I did see that you made a little bit of a detour to Nashville, though. What was that all about?
I wanted to test the waters a little further and see.
Okay.
I mean, you'd hear about Nashville.
Right. Well, you told me about that country influence from your dad. Maybe that's what you were chasing that dream.
Maybe, yeah. So I had this little interest in what goes on. Nashville had this big publicity machine going on too.
Right.
So, and just me being me. So I've got to investigate this. So I went to Nashville. I think it was about 18 months or something,
Okay.
a year and a half. Something like that. Who's counting? And so I had my taste with that. But once I kind of did my little stint there, back home to Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago is the place for me.
Okay.
I consider Chicago one of the best cities in the world. I just love Chicago. Don't ask me why. It's just you just feel things sometimes, and Chicago has been my home for 33 years.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Okay, so I want to ask you, I saw you a couple months ago at Buddy Guy's. It was a great set. And I saw that you also play a lot of festivals. How do you prepare for the different venue sizes? Is there a special thing that you do for clubs as opposed to festivals?
Not really, Mark. I'm a great believer, just get it right. What you do in a small venue, in a small corner bar, do the same thing at a big, huge festival. Just do the same thing. Let the production crew take care of the size. Okay. You just do what you do.
You just do you.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, I like that. Okay, well, I've been listening to the album "I'm Nobody's Fool," and it reminded me a lot of Paul Kelly and the Messengers. If you know from.
I know Paul. I'm a huge fan of Paul Kelly
because it has the blues element to it too, but there was a lot of songs to it too as well. Like we're kind of getting away from the blues a little bit. So, can Can you tell us a little bit about your songwriting style? How do you approach songwriting?
I've been writing songs for so long. I think I wrote my first song, I was about 12 years old,
Okay.
I believe, maybe even younger, who's counting. And the one thing when I sit down and write a song is the last thing on my mind is what I'm going to write or what style. And that's why each song that I write is so completely different. I'll go by whatever mood I'm in, what happened the day before,
Okay.
or what's happening at that moment, what I'm thinking about. And my moods, when it comes to my guitar playing, I'm very moody. I don't sit down and say, well, I'm going to learn this blues lick, or I'm going to learn this rock lick. I'm basically playing me. Just be who you are, and let the people decide where they want, what pigeonhole they want to put you into.
Well, you reminded me of something that George Harrison once said about Eric Clapton's guitar, saying, "Oh, that's his guitar, but that's not the music. The music is him."
Yeah.
So the guitar is just the conduit.
Yeah.
How you get to there. So.
And songwriting, Mark, is it's nothing like being an instrumentalist or being a guitar player, whether you're a piano player or a drummer. It really doesn't matter, or a concert violinist. That's playing an instrument. Songwriting is completely different. Songwriting is just bringing out some kind of image, I guess is the best way to put it, an image of your thoughts or what you believe in, and that song is going to develop itself.
So it's like painting with sound.
Yeah. Painting with sound. That's good way to put it.
Okay, so I liked your idea of your Under the Covers series. How did that get started?
I'd be at my gigs, and people go to the merchandise table. They see all these, CDs and vinyls and what else, and they'd say, "Oh man, I love that version of After Midnight," or "I love that version of All Your Love from Otis Rush," or because I don't play a lot of covers. I might throw in 3 or 4 a night, some of my own stuff. But some people like a song that they're familiar with.
Sure.
So, and my covers, what I do is rewrite them and restructure the song anyway. I pretty much change chords in them and everything.
Right.
So
make them your own.
Make my own. And they'd ask for that particular song, and people at my merchandise table would say it doesn't exist. He just plays them live. So light bulb goes on. Let's. I don't want to throw a cover in this album. So I thought I'll do a whole series of covers and put them onto the merchandise table. But when I finished the series of it, the very last CD that came out for it, I actually wrote a song called Cover Tunes.
Oh, nice.
So I still had to end it with an original song.
And so did you record these live, or did you have to go to do some studio time for it?
I've got my own studio, so I recorded them all in my studio like I record all my albums, and just went in and said, well, let's get some of these songs that we play live and let's do them. Recorded them properly the way I'd record anything else, and that's how they came to be.
Okay. A couple more questions I got for you. It's your 40th anniversary tour. So it's amazing longevity. It's fantastic. Can you tell me some of the highlights of this long and storied career?
Well, the 40th anniversary is... like we were talking earlier on about playing, in bands and all that. I didn't even include that. The 40th anniversary starts when I decided to be Michael Charles, the solo guy.
Okay.
So it's been 40 years since Michael Charles said he's going to do this thing on his own.
Right.
And not be called Black Venom or something else, or be a sideman guitar player. So it's 40 years have passed, and it blows my mind too. But... one of the biggest highlights to me was that invite coming to Chicago. That was a big turning point for me, because when I had a very successful career in Australia, and but you can go so far. Doesn't matter where you are, you go so far.
Yeah, you plateau.
You need to move on.
Sure.
You need to expand and broaden horizons and all that. So when I got that invite to Chicago, it was my opportunity to say, okay, phase 2.
Okay.
Or phase 3, phase 4, whatever phase you want to call it. But it's that was a big turning point for me. And but yeah, the years have passed. So when you ask me what's the highlights of what I'm celebrating, I guess the biggest celebration for me is sitting here talking to you and saying I'm still doing it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Can't beat that with a stick.
Okay, got to ask you something else though. Where were you, and how did you find out that you were inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame?
Good question.
Okay.
I was in my studio recording, working as normal,
Okay.
doing my thing, and my assistant Jane came down and said, "You've just been inducted into the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame." And to be quite honest, when I get stuck into my work, I'm in my work, and I kind of looked up and went, "Okay." And it was just a few seconds later, it kind of went, "What?"
What did you say to me? What did you?
Me? In the Chicago Blues Hall of Fame? There's some kind of mistake, but yeah, it blew my mind. I mean, I think that's just one of those things that happens, but there's a lot of those things in
Right.
my life that happen. And I can't talk for everybody, but for me, it's like I really appreciate it, and I think they're great things to have in your life. They're like big pats on the back,
Right.
but I don't live by it. Makes me work harder, because when you get awarded those kind of things, I think you have to live up to it.
Okay.
I'm not the type that says, "Well, I've done it now. That's cool."
So I'm done. Check out.
No. I'm ready to. Yeah. What's next?
Right.
Yes. What's next? And you better live up to it, because it's pointless having these. Somebody says, "Oh, I'm in the Blues Hall of Fame." Great, but you suck. That's no good. So no, live up to it. So all you can do is do the best you can do.
True.
Always give it your 100%.
Okay. Do you ever? Okay, you're playing blues. You're playing guitar. You're standing next to a buddy guy. Do you ever feel starstruck?
Always.
Always. Okay. How so?
Always. But I can hide it well.
Oh, good. And what's your secret for hiding it then?
Don't look at them. No, I think for me, it basically, I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to start so young. I've got a lot of experience, so I can hide a lot of things, right? And get on those stages and have a bad flu, or have a bad toothache, or or a headache that if I wake up in the morning with a headache, I can guarantee you I've got it all day. But when you've been doing something for so long,
Right.
you learn to cope with it, you learn to hide it, and move on. And tomorrow, hopefully, it's all past and it's gone and you're back on track. That's the same theory behind when I get on stage with somebody that's either one of your heroes or somebody you look up at. And it's not just somebody, famous. I mean, I've got musicians that I really look up at that are not so famous. And just standing next to them on a stage can be intimidating.
Sure. Absolutely. I've been there.
So, yeah. So you've got to learn to just say, I'm just going to do the best I can and be myself, and hopefully it fits in with that great guy that you're standing next to.
Yeah, it was the way I get through is I was like, well, I'm here for a reason, so you better just do your best.
Actually, Mark, that's a really good way of putting it, because you are there for a reason. You're there because somebody asked you to be there. So again, you better be able to live up to that, or else you shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. So last question I have for you. Who's the greatest drummer in the world, and why is it David A. Hart?
that's fantastic, because I will tell you something. Dave Hart is one of the greatest drummers I've worked with for a number of reasons. Number one, as you know, because you grew up with him, I know you're
and
good
played
friends,
with him too.
I know you're good friends with him, and you've had a band together. That's the band that's never split up, really, right? And so you know Dave Hart inside out, and we all know he's probably one of the nicest men on this planet.
Absolutely.
He will never let you down, and that is one of the greatest qualities in any human being. And then the other side of it, he's one hell of a player.
Yeah. What I admire about him also is his work ethic. Always on time.
Always on time, and again, he won't let you down.
Right.
Whether he's up to it, whether he's not, he's going to get up there, and no one would know the difference.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time
Mark.
today.
It was good to see you
it's good
again
to
too.
good to talk to you. So now we've got both of our artists here on the sofa and the love seat, and got some questions for you guys. So, both expats living in America, been here for a while. What are some of the challenges that you guys have faced as being expat artists in the United States? Clarissa, you want?
My accent sticks out like a sore thumb straight away.
Sore thumb.
That's right, see?
Yeah, okay.
I'm okay with that. It's fun though.
Yeah.
You know, it's changed a little bit over the years. We were just talking a little bit about this backstage. Yeah, I think it's not really a bad thing. It's just, that's the first thing people would say. It's like, oh, where are you from?
And then they'll say, that's really neat, right? And my very strong American accent, right? Wow, where are you from? Wow, okay, so accent, one thing. Anything as far as being a musician or a player here?
For me, when I first came to the States, I didn't see or feel much difference. As soon as I got off the plane, there it was, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and everything looked the same to me. But there was one big difference.
Burger King.
No, we had Burger King.
Yeah, but it's Hungry Jack in there, isn't it?
Both.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. But the biggest thing for me was I went across the road and nearly got run over because I forgot to look the other way.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing for me was adapt to the driving.
Left, right, left.
Driving and crossing the road. Everything else didn't bother me.
Okay. Did you face...
It feels like everywhere it's hot. It takes forever to get to. Like, I grew up in a little town. You could walk everywhere you want to go. Here, you have to have a car. It's not pedestrian friendly. You will get run down.
You will. Nice. Okay, so you guys have both performed all over the world. Do you guys see any difference between the playing styles of American musicians as opposed to international musicians?
For me, no, not really. I mean, music is... That's the one thing that I found is that music is international. I think we're all musicians are the same. We may talk a different language, we may have a different accent and all that, those obvious things, but when it comes to getting on a stage and playing, we're all the same.
Music is the equalizer, right? Yeah.
International.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Clarissa, do you play?
Music is just another language that we all connect with. As soon as on stage, you could have somebody who doesn't speak a word of your native language, but if you've got the rhythm, and if you've got a feeling and a vibration going on between people, you make that magic happen. That's important. I love that chemistry on stage. That's why I'm excited this year, because I'm doing more, larger events with more people, which is so much more fun than playing solo.
Just reminded me of a quick story that I had was I was hosting a tribute to the Rolling Stones, and I would invite some local Chinese artists, and there was one of my friends, Joe Young, over there, and he told me one of the most moving stories. He was a little older, about my age, and he said that his uncle had smuggled him into China from Hong Kong a bootleg cassette of Sticky Fingers. Illegal. It's highly illegal, and it was would have gotten in big trouble for having that. He says he put it on, couldn't believe his ears. He listened to one side, flipped it over, listened to the other side, flipped it. He said for days. That's all he did for days. And it, you know, again, he's a musician. He's fantastic, and we've played together. And you're right. It's a great equalizer.
But that you picked the right album. Sticky Fingers is the Stones' best album.
Yeah.
I had to put that in.
Of course. So you said you have a studio at home. You guys have both done recordings. So how do you get prepared for a recording session?
I typically do my recording sessions before my gigs start in the week. I have to have that rest because the studio is going to pick up a lot more of like imperfections than a live performance would, especially if your voice is tired. You know, you're going to go flat a little bit more. So I try to make sure I get my rest in, my water in. You know, I have a little regime where I'll make sure that you know, make sure, again, health and fitness stuff I talked about.
Right.
Make sure I'm on the treadmill that morning. Make sure like I eat, like I was gonna be hungry in the studio. You know,
I can't eat before I sing because I can't.
Oh no, not right before. I just mean so you have the right energy levels when it comes to being able to deliver. And you know what, this year's been quite a big year for me trying to record my own stuff. You know, I try to make sure now because I've been doing live music. I was kind of not doing my own stuff, and I'm like, people were getting like, when is your stuff coming out? When? So I've got like a song coming out every Tuesday now, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, fantastic!
Every Tuesday, new music. Trying to catch up with you.
Yeah,
you got a lot of music.
Me, I think the opposite than her. I like to be really warmed up. I've done some vocals the next day after playing, 3 or 4 gigs in a row, or even come back from a gig and go into the studio while I'm warmed up and get that grittiness out of myself. If I'm
character.
cold,
it's called
character. Yeah, if I'm going in there too fresh, it's just not me, man. I've got to. The same as my playing.
Right.
I want to be warmed up. So. But in my case, I play so much and we go out and gig so much that I'm always warmed up anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be kind of going all over the map here. So, what's your favorite music venue in Chicago?
For me?
Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for Buddy Guy's Legends, obviously.
It's a nice place.
So that's... when you say my favourite,
to see a band, let's say.
Yeah, I would say Buddy Guy's Legends, but I've got a soft spot for it.
Sightlines there are great. The sound system is really good.
And I know everybody there too helps.
Of course, a place where everybody knows your name. Where did I hear that before? So, Clarissa, how about you?
I haven't really done too much exploring myself to actually come and listen to more live music in the city. So I would like to come back to that question at this point.
Okay.
maybe next year when I've had more time to explore,
Well, you said you're halfway between. How about Milwaukee? Do you have any venues there that you know?
I like Shakers. That's the haunted cigar lounge in Milwaukee.
Okay.
But if we're going to talk Chicago, one of my venues, which is, they host bands quite a lot, it's Untitled Supper Club. We have like the sound team there, you run in, everything's kind of set and ready. There's a really nice sound in the room. And then they also have a speakeasy at night time as well, which is nice because it goes from being a full band event and you go down to the more like, we do a duo there.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is nice. So it's like broken down stuff, so it's more mellow.
Is that a residency, this duo, or?
No, that's just, they just give me a lot of dates because I do main stage as well. They want to put me in another thing after. I'm like, well, not on the same night, but we've got some extra stuff in there. It's a different kind of vibe.
Okay. So, Michael, Blues Fest is coming up. What's your advice for attending the fest? How, as a goer to the fest, what would you suggest for people to do?
Just go.
Okay.
Just go. It's you can walk around. You've got so many stages and stuff. You're not going to miss out. It's and there's so many great blues bands, as you know. They're all there.
Okay. So just wander around and...
Wander around.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I got a question for both of you guys. This is going to take a little bit of thought. Oh, no, oh no's. What's your musical Mount Rushmore? Four players, four musicians that you say that's boom, 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 boom. And you can't just say the
Can I
Beatles.
give, yeah.
That covers it.
Right.
Can we do him? I'm going to say Jeff Beck for my guitar
Okay.
player.
Sure.
Can we go
Okay,
back?
let's go 1-1.
Yeah.
That'll be
That'll
fun.
help me think about it.
Okay.
I'm with her, Jeff Beck.
Okay.
Oh, yay!
Hey.
Bing, bing, bing.
Okay. You gotta get 3 more.
Okay. Is it just instrumentals?
It could be whatever.
Hmm.
Vocalist,
Sure.
Lady Gaga.
Wow, nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, the vocalist is the hardest one for me.
Right.
I really like Elton John on the keys. He's very
Okay.
creative how he
Okay.
you know, I like how he places his notes and stuff. He's
Sure.
very fun. And, I can't really think of too many keys players right now. But let's think
Okay, that's 2. That's good.
And then we'll go back to a guitar player.
Sure. It could be 4 guitar players.
Going
That's fine.
back to a guitar player. We mentioned Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Then there's have to put on top.
Mm.
Has to be Terry Kath from Chicago.
Wow. Okay.
One of my biggest influences when I was at least 16, 15 years
Yeah,
old.
the story is that was Jimi Hendrix's favorite guitar player.
Well, you do know the story about that, right? The Chicago opened up for
Oh, yeah.
Hendrix.
Yeah, yeah.
And then after hearing Terry Kath play, Hendrix said, I have to go up there after him.
Nice.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he was
something
amazing.
else.
Okay, so we got 3. Number 3.
Okay, I think I might have one of my top 10 favorite vocalists. Okay, I'm not gonna give them all. I'm just gonna say James Brown.
James
That's-
Brown.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just like the way he delivers. Like when he says everything's like a drum.
Number 4.
Okay, I'm going to go to, oh man. I'm going to go to a drummer this time.
Okay.
Best drummer of all time has to be Steve Gadd.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Steve Gadd, he plays drums with so much emotion that he just makes my hair on the back of my neck go up.
Was he the one that came up with the pattern for 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover? Wasn't that him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve
That's
Gadd.
unbelievable. That's the hook of the song too.
Mhm.
So, I can't imagine how uninteresting that song would have been without that drum.
Just genius
Yeah.
percussionist, drummer, whatever way you want to call him, but just the way he hits that drum,
Mm.
I don't think anyone can come close.
Okay. Number 4.
CeeLo Green.
Okay.
I love CeeLo Green. Obsessed.
Okay. Obsessed. How so?
I never get tired of doing their music, even
Okay.
when I'm covering it. Like
Yeah.
I love it.
You find like new things in it all
Oh
the time.
yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Always do a little something different, messing around with it. You know?
That's fantastic. Okay, where are we going to go next? I think I'm out of music questions. I think we're going to do a couple of fun things. What's your favorite American slang word or phrase?
See, I've got to be careful because I can.
Because
I
my
don't
kids will be
know how-
watching this. And
How far the rabbit hole goes. You got this one. I can't think right now. My brain's tired.
Oh
The
man!
mental load.
Oh my God! I don't want to say what I want to say.
oh, come on, we're all friends here.
Yeah, son of a bitch!
Your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna either when tourists wear them bags around their waist. You call them. What do you call them? When you wear like a little thing that's got like a thing.
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
You know what we call that in England? We call
my.
that a bum bag.
Well, because I know the UK slang for the word fanny is a little
It's a little different, right?
Yeah.
But that's why we call it a bum bag. So it's a bum. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
a bum is a butt.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
It's a butt bag. But it's front. It's front butt. It's a fanny pack.
There was a
There's a riddle. Bit of a hidden one.
There was a coffee shop in Shanghai that sold cakes, and it was called Fanny Face. Like, holy cow! You guys really didn't talk to anybody from the UK, did you?
Oh my word! Yeah.
Okay, well, what's a slang phrase or word that you wish Americans would adopt?
I haven't.
You haven't come across one?
I can't say the one I'm going to say. It's definitely going to.
You know, you're killing me, Mark, because I've just been here way too long.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think some words from Australia when I was living back there, but I just can't think of them.
Yeah, well, I find myself saying no worries for everything all the time.
Well, that's become an international thing now.
Yeah.
I notice everywhere I go, everybody says
no
that.
worries. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Except
It's
me.
natural for me, so no. So, Clarissa, you see, I saw the light bulb go off.
It's gone now. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that was it. Bloody Hellfire.
Bloody Hellfire.
Yeah, that would be great if my American friends would adopt that.
Okay, I'll try it.
Bloody Hell.
Fire. 1, 2, 3. Bloody Hellfire. I'll try it. I'll try and keep using it. So, all right. So now I've got some just a little quick fire round, some Chicago questions. Go-to place for pizza. Don't know. Don't eat pizza. Okay. No carb diet, right?
I actually like the deep dish pizza just from a real Italian restaurant.
Okay, yeah, because it's Sicilian
And there's
background.
a lot of them out
That's
there.
fair.
So you go to Little Italy, or
Yeah, you can beat from that, you know, Ma and Pa
Yeah.
little where they make those pizzas.
Yeah. Well, because I remember back in the day when we used to have phone books, there was at least 6 to 8 pages of just pizza parlors in the yellow pages. It was how Chicagoans love their pizzas. All right.
And you do know Chicago's got the best pizza in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can't beat it.
And tavern style, cut in squares, because the deep dish is for the tourists, right?
Oh,
Cubs or White Sox?
White Sox.
My brother.
So you didn't have to think about that.
I
Brewers.
just threw out the peace sign. I didn't really follow sports, unfortunately.
Okay, no,
Bye-bye.
You're exempt. Okay.
Good.
Sears Tower or John Hancock for the best city views?
Sears.
Sears? Okay.
I'm going to need a note of these questions so I know where to go look at these, because I haven't been. Like I say, I need to do a little bit more touring around the city.
Okay, I got one more kind of silly question for each of you guys. Pick a number from 1 to 10.
8.
Would you rather have the same song stuck in your head forever or have the same exact dream every night?
Dream.
Okay, why is that?
Because I like to be able to write my own songs, and if I've got one stuck in my head, I can't really I can't do that.
It's like a broken record. You keep skipping back.
That would destroy me.
Okay. Number from 1 to 10, not including 8.
Not including 8. Okay, let's go 5. Let's make it happen.
Number 5. Would you rather wear your clothes on backwards or wear them inside out?
Who gives a damn?
Okay, fair enough. That's
I've got a really bad habit of just putting a T-shirt on and not looking at it. Just put it on. Right? When I'm home.
If the label's out, that's fine.
In my own time at home, I don't. You've got to kind of always look good on my job.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm home, I just don't give a damn.
Okay, sounds good. Last question I have for you guys. What are your pluggables? Where can we find you on social media? Your contact information? Where can we find you guys?
You can find me at michaelcharles.us, and then from there, it's my website, and then from there it'll take you to every social media that I'm on, and the website itself will tell you everything you want to know about me and everything you don't want to know about me. It's on that site.
Fantastic. Okay. Clarissa, how about yourself?
You can find me on thisisclarissa.com, which is my website, and that will also lead you to my Instagram, which is at thisisclarissauk. And that is also the same for Facebook, so that's This Is Clarissa UK.
Okay, fantastic. And we're going to also put this contact information down at the bottom of the YouTube page when we get this all wrapped together. So, guys, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. A lot of fun for me.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah, good to see you too. Nice to meet you. My pleasure.